Okay, so Adrian can't be here for us. But or ADI as he goes by. I will post it in chat here. Boop. There we go. I believe he's plastering walls. I think that's what he said. From Poland. Also, just to highlight what he had said. So he gave me a little update before we switch to the portfolio here. Um, so his name's Adrian, 3D artist from Poland. I wouldn't say I specialize in anything exclusively, but I'd consider myself most proficient in would be weapons slash prop design. Let's switch to this so we can look here. Personally, I've always wanted to create games back in my younger days, if I could say so, since I'm only 20. Uh, meaning 4 to 5 years ago, I mainly did 2D graphics in various gaming communities, from games such as Gary's Mod, Counter Strike 1.6, yo, and TF2. Ooh, there's some good money in TF2 modding at one point. Um, the 2D graphics craze went on for around 3 to 4 years till 2017, when I finally started teaching myself 3D modeling, mainly to create some custom assets for one of the Gary's mods I was part of. And I actually used a software called Wings 3D. Classic. Classic. Um, at the start, before I gave myself a quick shot at 3DS and finally switched over to Blender for good. For good. Wow. All right, cool. Blender fan, I love it. Uh, what I'd like to become has been a complicated question as of lately. Whilst I always enjoyed being more of an asset artist, meaning, dude, Madhu's going crazy outside. I don't know if you can hear him. Sorry. As of lately, whilst I always enjoyed being more of an asset artist, meaning doing more one-offs, the whole scenes and bigger projects, what I've been interested in lately has been being an environment artist. So there's an interest in being an environment art. Uh, so he's got an old, scrawny laptop with low grade at best for creating content. So it's quite difficult to do high risk sculpts or big scenes in Unreal Engine. So you would like to make the switch to environment art. So let's go ahead, and I remember some of these assets too, and the presentation of this one specifically was one that I was a big fan of. Um, Blender is Bay. Rich. Dude, Rich likes ramen. I like ramen too, man. Uh, this presentation for this Mac 10 is great. That thumbnail, haven't seen that before. And the thing is like we see the gun and we're like, okay, I know I've seen that Mac 10 before. So you don't even like you almost don't need to be able to read the text. So having the text behind the actual weapon is such a cool kind of difference. Nice, Rich. So this is really interesting. Uh, well done as well. Um, maybe a little on the nose when it comes to how sharp some of the edges are. But I believe we'd actually looked at this in a critique also. So we're just going to keep pushing through here. When I'm looking at your assets, they seem to be. I see at this distance it looks pretty good for like maybe like first person or a third person game. But when it's nice and close, the roughness starts to break down, or the wear and tear of how it's kind of broken down starts to get highlighted. Um, we'll just keep moving through here. This also kind of suffers from the same issues. I think we looked at this in a Discord critique as well, where I'm not sure what the materials are, or like how how it's put together. There's straps. These straps, I'm not sure what they're made out of. It's a single piece of whatever it is. Maybe it's well, hang on, let's see here. Reflectivity, albedo. Oh, no, that's metal of some sort. The issue is not really understanding the PBR nature of the surfaces. So it ends up becoming quite confusing to understand what types of materials these are. And I mean, I guess the other problem is not understanding the kind of lore behind what the cube is, and understanding why it's colored the way that it is. Dwarven mace must must be brass. This must be brass. So see, and the thing is like from this distance, you can see how like reflective it is. Um, that is super shiny, and I think when it comes down to like understanding the how reflective the surfaces are, and tuning those to look pleasing and accurate at the same time, I think it's missing in a few regards when it comes to that type of detail. And I mean, it's just a matter of understanding the surfaces that you're trying to achieve. And because like this, whatever this material is, seems to be so reflective that it's like the roughness value is probably closer to diamond level, which is really intense, right? So just, I would say, focus on, see here, it seems not too intense. That's interesting. That real-time render is causing, because in Unreal it would look very different. Would it also be marmoset? Yeah, I think so. Because especially the real-time viewer might be showing stuff a little strangely. Because in these renders it doesn't look too rough, or too bad, I should say. Um, see down here, it's quite shiny. It's just, I mean, it's just a matter of focusing on your surfaces, and really getting the. Oh man, I wonder if Twitch reacts to that. I don't know if they do. Um, well, if the channel disappears, they do, or if the stream goes down, well then there you go. But yeah, your attention to details is really nice, and it's just a matter of really locking in those materials from a roughness standpoint, and just understanding the PBR value. This weapon, for example, this sword, is very like the cracks here are very forced versus feeling natural. They feel more like veins, um, and it's just about understanding how you get these shapes into the asset in a natural way, and then how you're texturing the surface. Because right now this looks very generated, the way that the edges are highlighted, right? And figuring out how to get those to happen in a clean way that looks natural, and is kind of has like gradients, and is softer to really emphasize the types of material you're looking at. That's going to be pretty important. And then again, these materials, PBR wise, they just feel strange to me. Like, I'm not sure what this material is. I don't know. I think this is a metal. Presentation is great though. Like, you're framing this up pretty cool, in a cool way. Let's see what else we got here. That's an interesting weapon. It's a Winchester bolt action pistol prototype. Dude, I would be terrified to fire that thing in my hand. Um, that's really cool. So here, I think modeling wise, it's quite a bit more consistent, and it again, I think it's just the way the material is aged, and how the roughness attributes are affecting the surfaces, and where they're affecting it. Because I think see right here, it's looking pretty nice, but it's the overall kind of damage or aging or tarnishing of the surface that feels strange to me. Imagine someone pulling this on you. Dude, if someone pulled that out and pointed that at me, I'd probably be, you're like in a hallway and just leap to the side and go through the wall. Like, that's how fast you would try and get out of the way. Like, a normal human would still pass through the wall. Um, But yeah, I think modeling wise, it's not all that bad, and it's more about again uh, getting the material to read in a logical way where like the damage and aging is. And it's these guys like let's look at this axe. So this axe straight up, I'd say this axe is next level. Yeah, Casey, definitely. If I mean, whenever you're building this stuff, it would be nice to have either a reference in here or a reference linked in the image. So like this sword, for example, I don't know if you made this up or if it came from a reference or a concept, right? And it's knowing like uh knowing what to put here. I'm giggling a little bit because it's Kaze in chat, man. I'm saying it. This axe, man. This axe is a cut above Kaze 2021. Um, it just looks the materials. You can tell like this is a month ago. It's up to chops. Yeah, it's up to chop, man. Materials look real nice. This again, I feel like maybe this type of aging that's happening here or this tarnishing of the metal is a little off. But man, when you go back and you just see the light run across the material, it's really nice, especially when you see the renders. I think in your renders it looks much better. Um, maybe could use a little bit more aging in the roughness for the wood, but in here it doesn't look all that bad. And I'm quite impressed with the scratches not feeling so like if you get an extreme angle like this, you can start to see the patterns of like how the material's kind of set up. Um, the scratches still aren't all that strange looking. They feel pretty natural, like where they would happen, and they're not too bright or too dark. So it just yeah it ends up feeling pretty natural. Let's see what this top area looks like. Knowing what to do here and like this type of detail is always a difficult a task. Usually these are machined in a way where like you see the lines and you can kind of see it. That's interesting. No, this is nice though, and like look at the text on there. Oof, that is high res, sir. As a metal hatchet. But this Yelly Cottage. This is UE5 finally getting around and making some environments. Yes, sir. Yes, you are. This looks pretty cool. Yeah, the lines are there. They're getting buried by the strength of the light. Definitely. This is pretty nice. Yet to download UE5. I mean, Adrian must have upgraded his computer or his laptop because like UE5 and this seems like a nightmare for a laptop that's not equipped for it. So just quickly to highlight some stuff. Let me see if I can just copy this. Is this just gonna paste? Yes, it is. Awesome. Okay, so quickly highlighting this. There's a lot of information on the side here that's kind of lost, and I think you might be able to just kind of, if you squeeze this a bit and then pull this in, you can see how much like let's do that again. So that what we're clipping here is basically not too much detail down here and most of the sky. So there's not a lot of information there, right? And I guess you're losing the stump here, but you can see the cottage right now is quite front and center, and there's not a lot of info here. So if you eat that info up on the left side, you can start pulling the cottage more towards this line. Preferably this line would make the cottage look best, but I do really like the kind of wide angle shot here. And so you can imagine like if you were to take this 3x3 grid and do it again in here, the cottage is sitting on the 3x3. It's sitting on this line inside of this grid. So that's all right. And then this one is sitting on the right side of the middle part of that grid. But my nose is itchy. You could even pull this further down, I think, and that's pretty intriguing. I think just looking at it like this, because now it's like the cottage is here. The only other thing I would say that's kind of feeling a little off is this mountainous range here feels really it feels like it's supposed to continue. You know what I mean? Right? Like that. It just needs to go just a little bit further. I'll just cheat some trees in there. Because like once that extends out, then it's all about making sense of the scale of this space. Like, is there? Man, I can't even free draw this right now. But getting that snow up there or something just to help make sense out of like where things are at, because it doesn't feel like there's anything happening back there, right? Um, it's just a lot of rocks. Like where's the shadows in it? You know, where's the shapes that help you understand the volume of the structure? So like you can see the shadows are kind of pointing this way. At least that's what it looks like. Yeah, there's a shadow here. Um, if that's the case, maybe doing some stuff like this, right? And then just taking that whole side and just darkening that. Actually, let's just we'll bring it down like this. This is that that type of stuff is just going to help immensely with understanding the form of the mountains in the background, uh, and give it more volume and bring it into the scene more. Needs puddles. Some trees in the mountain would be good. Yeah, I mean the trees. There's trees over here, right? But they're just it's not all there. Um, I mean, it looks like you got a better computer, man. I don't know, or you're really fighting stuff. But so this is Quixel Mixer, Unreal Engine. So a lot of this content, I'm assuming, isn't yours, right? Or it's using Megascans, and either way, I mean, you have a pretty good eye for the details and whatnot, and it's just more about thinking about framing and understanding the compositional weight of like using your thirds and trimming away. It's like trimming away the fat, the details that aren't needed there. Pull those away and focus on the subject, which is the cottage, and you're golden. Let's see what else we got in here. So then the other one's this old brewery. So this one's pretty cool. It is very warm, which is worth noting. Um, nice. Look at those potatoes. Those are potatoes, right? Yeah, they're kind of like stacked into each other a little bit. Would be nice to get some variety in the height of them. Right now they look like they might be clipping a bit here. Just stacking a few on top just to kind of break it up would be good. The ground is insanely wet. Maybe a few spots should be wet, and then you tone back the the overall moisture level on the ground. And then I would remove. Let's see. I'd remove three lights. Like just use this one, illuminate here, and let the rest of the kind of brewery go into darkness. And then it looks like there's a window here, right? So we can assume there's more windows back here. You could have the moonlight of the night, like just filling and bringing in some cooler colors. That's gonna do wonders for the scene. Because right now it is very like single colored. It's just yeah. There's not there's nothing to bounce off of, you know, and everything's very evenly detailed. Um, so keep that in mind. And it might be worth since it looks like Blender. I don't know how much of this you have modeled. I'm assuming trying to recreate an old-fashioned brewery in UE5. The water was not fit to drink. To make it palatable, we had to add whiskey. By diligent effort, I learned to like it. Yeah, introducing unevenness. Yes. Uh, Remove one of the barrels. Have a barrel that's out and there's some glasses on it. Tell a story, you know? Have a barrel that's out and maybe there's some glasses on it and there's just two friends sneaking off in the night drinking their uncle's whiskey from their family brewery. They're not supposed to be in there after dark. What are they doing? So storytelling is would be really really good. And I don't know how much of this you've created versus like a scan. Do a barrel roll, Kaza. Thanks, man. Couldn't do it without you. Um, Overall, I portfolio is looking stronger and stronger as you go. It's just really understanding your composition and understanding where to take the scenes story wise. The composition comment also includes things like lighting and getting those surfaces to look more interesting. Breaking up the scene with the moving a barrel or something like that um, helps will help a lot. And I think really understanding what you're building versus what's Megascans is going to be important because like this cottage scene is pretty cool, and so is the brewery. It's just we're not seeing a whole lot of. We see this image and this image, which you could probably get rid of this one and tell the little story here. Maybe do a close up of the barrel, for example, with the detail that we're talking about, and then it's like a breakdown. Like, what are all the props you used? Put the Megascans ones on the side, and then the ones you built on the left. That type of stuff. How is this constructed? We need to understand that so that we can see how you're thinking about how you build your scenes as well. But yeah, no, I look forward to the next piece that you create, and hopefully that was helpful. And yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Nice, thanks.